When we talk about Israeli economy, one of the first few things which come to our mind is its tech industry. It has some of the most productive and hardworking population that produced globally well-recognized tech giants. Google, Intel, Microsoft, Meta, and other tech giants have also heavily invested in the nation. It's a true startup nation with the GDP per capita even higher than that of Canada, Germany, and United Kingdom. But Israel's own population never benefited from it. Despite the fact that its GDP per capita ranked 13th highest in the entire world, the income inequality in the country is 4th highest in the world. And surprisingly, Israel is far behind than many other countries, which seemingly have less GDP per capita. When adjusted to purchasing power, Israel has some of the highest cost of living in the world. From outside, it's a country of tech and entrepreneurship. But if you pay a closer look, you will come to know that it's not like that, and the country is facing huge challenges. But how Israel got there? Israel has faced and overcome many challenges since its existence. After it was established, it was immediately attacked by Arab states. And in the 10 months of war, even though Israel won, the whole economy and infrastructure of the country was destroyed. The nation had no natural resources, and it also needed to take millions of incoming Jewish refugees, which increased the demand of basic goods and food, which in 1980s helped the nationwide crisis to occur. And it was in a situation which is currently facing by Turkey, Lebanon, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. The inflation was increasing by 100 times every year. The nation's currency was depreciating, and the locals were losing hope in using their own currency. People were using dollars instead of Israeli shekel, which means government has less control over capital floating in the economy. The country was surviving on donations provided by American Jewish community, West German reparation people, and American aid. Prior to this, Israel was a socialist nation, but due to the economic and political unrest, the country decided to adapt capitalism and started to privatize its sectors. The efforts of Israeli government paid off, and within a few decades, it became a fully fledged capitalistic state. After the collapse of Soviet Union, the skilled and educated Soviet Jews came to Israel to call it their new home. Israel has also benefited a lot from them, because these qualified Soviet Jews also brought skills and experience with them that helped the economy to modernize. In 1970s, Israel was spending more than 30% of its GDP on military due to rising political tensions between Arabs and Jews, which was 4 times of the US at that time. But after the economy was stabilized, the nation invested in other areas and took steps in favor of economic growth. And one of these steps was the launching of Yozma program. This program was introduced to help new businesses and startups. More than $100 million were to be allocated for funding. It offered tax incentives and matching funds to foreign investors who partnered with local firms to create venture capital funds. The program was successful in attracting foreign capital, creating a vibrant startup ecosystem, and establishing Israel as a global leader in innovation. In return, the government would hold 40% of ownership of the business, and in case the investment is successful, the investors could get back these holdings from the government just by giving the loan back to the government with a small interest rate. Since then, after the success of it, all public programs in Israel followed the same model. Foreign direct investment started to pop up in the country, and in the first 8 years, the number of funds increased from 20 to whopping 513. It has the highest startup per capita in the world, which is 1 startup per 1,400 people, followed by South Korea, which had its own economic boom which started in 1960s. The nation is considered heaven for new businesses and startups due to its business-friendly economic policies. The country has also heavily invested in education sector, and because of this, Israel has the highest percentage of people with a university degree. But all of this success came with a hefty price. Before further moving on, if you have watched this video so far, then please hit the like and subscribe button to support the channel. Israel is called Startup Nation, but this term only applies to a very small part of the country, and almost entire tech sector is in one city, Tel Aviv. Although the tech sector makes up around 20% of the economy, but it only represents 8% of the jobs. And while the 8% is paid well more than enough to make their fortunes, the rest of the 92% struggles to find a job, with a salary enough to establish a healthy and moderate lifestyle. The average salary in tech sector is 3 times higher than any other sector. And this makes the rest of the society irrelevant and feel unsatisfied with their lives. Most of the people have salaries below the average salaries of Western Europe and are comparable to countries like Spain and Italy, which are considered less productive nations, and Israeli people still live in the world's most expensive country. Israel's economy is so much dependent on a single sector, which makes up a large portion of the economy, and this is causing huge damage to the economy that might take down the whole nation. The economies around the world face a lot of boom and burst cycles. The markets of advanced nations can also go down, and inflation can also go up. If a major tech crisis hit the country, it is unimaginable how much damage it can cause to Israel's economy. On top of that, the country is also divided. Before Hamas attacked Israel, the country was already going through some major political unrest, which it has never experienced before. The protests were all about a judicial reform proposed by current government of Israel that, according to the opposition, is harm to Israeli democracy. There is also an internal conflict going on in the country about whether it should be nationalistic, religious, and conservative state, or rather should be more liberal, modern, and secular democracy. Israel is facing these types of tensions since its existence, but now, these have come to a point where it is tearing apart Israeli society. These protesters are engineers, IT professionals, and startup founders who drive most of the economy, who also are worried about their future in Israel. And foreign direct investment is falling gradually due to political and regional instability. Due to lack of funding, most of the Israeli startups are willing to relocate outside of once called Startup Nation. Venture funding is also dropped by 70% since the start of crisis. At this rate, the startup ecosystem of the nation might collapse. There is also a demographic issue, which is becoming a burden on the society day by day, which is also a significant part of the society, the Orthodox Jewish community, the Haredim. They enjoy more privilege from the government, and they live their lives on government stipends. But their children also don't study modern-day STEM subjects. Instead, they focus on religious education. They make up around 13% of the population. They tend to marry early and they have a lot of children than the average Israeli, so they are becoming more and more populous in the society and are expected to make around 25% of the population in 2050. And it's not going to be good with their economy. This will only lead to further increase in division. Although, Israel has overcome huge challenges since its existence in form of wars, political unrest, large group of immigrants, currency depreciation, inflation, food security, and the list goes on. But now, this series of crises is different, and the nation is might not ready to deal with it. The current Israeli government is proposing judicial reforms so they can increase their political power. These type of reforms only lead Israel to be an authoritarian state, which will be disastrous for the nation and its people. Let's see what Israel and its people choose for their future. We can only hope for better. In this video, we have also talked about how South Korea also has a number of new emerging startups, but South Korean miracle has also come to an end. And to know about how South Korea is heading towards its extinction due to its economic boom, click on the right video, and I will see you there.